The sky was gray the day billionaire Raj Mehra was declared dead. Rain poured, as if the heavens cried with the people. Hundreds of cars lined up outside the grand white marble mansion. Powerful people arrived, businessmen, politicians, celebrities. News channels ran headlines. India's most loved business tycoon dies in mysterious jet crash. At the center of it all stood Anjali, Raj's wife. Her eyes were red, her hands cold, her heart empty. She wore a simple black sari. She didn't speak much. People came to her, offered condolences, spoke big words about how much Raj had done for the world. But Anjali could barely hear them. She just kept staring at the large photo of Raj placed near the flower-covered stage. He was smiling in that photo, his usual calm, warm smile. The same smile that made her fall in love with him years ago. But deep inside her, something didn't feel right. The crash had happened 3 weeks ago. Raj was on his private jet, flying back from a business trip abroad. Somewhere over the sea, the plane disappeared. No signals, no black box, no body. Only a few broken parts were found near a beach. The authorities declared him dead. The company board took over. Raj's businesses were split. The media said, "It's over." But Anjali wasn't sure. How could a man like Raj just disappear? Days turned into weeks. Anjali tried to return to a quiet life. She stopped answering calls. She stayed at home. Only her maid and a driver were allowed near her. One day her old friend called. "Anjali, you promised to open that children's home in the suburbs. They're waiting." She had forgotten. Raj had promised that charity just a month before the crash. Anjali decided to go. It was the first time she stepped outside in days. Her car moved slowly through the narrow streets of the suburb. Children ran barefoot in the mud. Old men sat on broken chairs. Street vendors shouted their prices. Anjali's heart ached seeing the poverty. Raj always said, "The real India lives here." As her car stopped near a small school, Anjali looked out the window and then she froze. A man pushing a fruit cart crossed the street ahead. She stared. Her breath stopped. The man had a beard now. He was thinner. His clothes were simple, but the way he walked, his eyes, his face, it looked just like Raj. Anjali quickly asked her driver, "Did you see him? The man with the cart?" The driver replied, "Ma'am, which one? There are many vendors." She didn't answer. She just opened the door and stepped outside in the rain. But by the time she reached the street, the man was gone. She looked around. Left, right, behind the stalls. Nothing. Was it her imagination? A ghost of memory? Or was it really him? That night Anjali couldn't sleep. She kept staring at her wedding photo on the wall. She touched Raj's face with her fingers. No, it can't be. He's gone. Right? She whispered to herself. But her heart said something else. The next morning she returned to the same suburb. She didn't tell anyone. She wore a simple shawl and sunglasses. She walked street to street. Her eyes scanned every face. Old men, young men, children, but not him. She asked one of the vendors, "Do you know a man who sells fruits here? Tall, thin, with a beard?" The vendor shrugged. "Many fruit sellers come and go, Didi, maybe from the next block." Disappointed, Anjali sat on a bench. Just then, a little girl offered her a mango. "Did you see a fruit man here yesterday?" Anjali asked the girl. The girl smiled. "Uncle Ravi, yes, he's nice. He gave me a free apple last week." "Ravi," Anjali whispered. "Where can I find him?" The girl pointed toward a narrow lane. Anjali stood up quickly, heart racing. Anjali stepped into the narrow lane the little girl had pointed toward. Her heels clicked softly against the broken path. The smell of wet earth mixed with the scent of ripe bananas from a nearby stall. The buildings were old, their paint peeling. Children played with sticks and bottle caps. A few women stood in doorways, watching her curiously. She clutched her shawl tighter around her. Her heart beat louder with every step. She was looking for a man named Ravi, a man who sold fruits. But in her mind, all she could see was her husband's face. Anjali stopped at a small fruit stall under a tin roof. A young boy stood there arranging guavas. She asked, "Does Ravi work here?" The boy looked up. "Uncle Ravi? He's not here. Today. Do you know where he lives?" The boy hesitated, then pointed to a small house nearby. "That room. But he doesn't talk much. He's strange." Anjali walked to the door the boy had shown her. It was a plain wooden door. No nameplate, no light from the window. She took a deep breath and knocked. No answer. She knocked again, louder this time. Finally, the door opened slowly. A man stood there, tall, thin, beard a little longer now, wearing a plain white shirt and lungi. His eyes met hers. Anjali's breath caught in her throat. It was him. Or at least he looked just like Raj, same sharp jaw, same deep eyes, same small scar above the eyebrow, a scar Raj had since college. But the man didn't react. He looked at her with blank eyes. "Yes?" he asked calmly. Anjali tried to speak, but her voice shook. "Raj," the man frowned slightly. "You have the wrong person. My name is Ravi." Her heart dropped. "I'm sorry, You look like someone I knew." The man didn't respond. He stepped back, about to close the door. "Wait," Anjali said quickly. "Can I talk to you? Just 5 minutes." He stared at her for a moment, then nodded slowly. "Okay." Inside the small room, there was almost nothing. Just a wooden bed, one chair, a bucket, and a stack of fruit crates in the corner. No photos, no mirror, nothing personal. Anjali sat on the chair. The man, Ravi, stood by the wall. "You live here alone?" she asked softly. "Yes." "Since when?" "Almost a year." Anjali looked around, still unsure. Every second, her heart told her this was Raj, but his eyes, they were colder, empty, as if they had forgotten love, family, everything. "Do you remember me?" she asked directly. "No," he replied. "You really don't know who I am." "No." Tears welled in Anjali's eyes. "My name is Anjali Mehra. I'm the wife of Raj Mehra. He died in a plane crash 3 months ago." The man remained silent. She continued, "I saw you from my car yesterday. You were pushing a fruit cart. You looked exactly like him. That's why I came." Still no reaction. "Do you really not remember anything? Your past, your name, family?" He looked away for the first time. "I had an accident some months ago," he said quietly. "I woke up by the riverside. A fisherman helped me. I didn't know who I was, no ID, no phone, nothing." Anjali's heart skipped a beat. He continued, "I took the name Ravi because I had to start over. I sold fruits to survive." She leaned forward, voice shaking. "Then maybe you are Raj, maybe you just forgot. Please let me help you. We can go to the hospital, do a DNA test." "I said I'm not Raj," he cut in, voice firm now. "Please leave." Anjali stood up slowly, heart torn. "Okay," she said softly. "But if you remember anything at all, please come to this address." She placed a card on the table and walked out. That night, Anjali sat alone, at home staring at old videos of Raj on her phone, his smile, his voice, his laugh. She paused the video, zoomed into his face, same scar, same eyes. Could it really be a coincidence? Or was her husband alive, suffering from memory loss? Anjali couldn't sleep that night. She kept seeing his face, the man who called himself Ravi, but looked just like her late husband Raj. Every video she watched, every smile, every movement, matched exactly. She had lived with Raj for 11 years. She knew every little detail about him, his walk, his tone, even how he raised his eyebrow when confused. And Ravi did the same thing. She knew something wasn't right. So the next morning, she made a decision. She would prove it. If this man truly had memory loss, then he wouldn't remember his past. But maybe the past would remember him. Anjali went to her private study and pulled out an old album. Photos of Raj's childhood, family vacations, and college memories. She picked out pictures that showed him with his parents, their dog Bruno, his childhood home, and one special photo, a birthday picture where Raj had burnt his left wrist touching a candle. That burn mark had stayed with him forever. She also opened Raj's old journals where he wrote thoughts and poems. On one page he had written, "If I ever forget who I am, I hope someone reminds me. With love, not proof." Anjali closed the book, holding back tears. That one sentence gave her strength. Later that day, she returned to the poor suburb again, this time with a bag of clues. When she reached Ravi's small home, he was not at the stall. She waited quietly. Watching from a corner, finally he arrived, pushing his fruit cart slowly. His walk seemed heavier today. He looked tired. She stepped forward. "Ravi." He turned, surprised. "You again? Please. Just 5 minutes. No questions. Just look. Something." He sighed, then nodded. Inside the room, Anjali opened the bag and gently placed a few photos on the bed. One showed Raj sitting with his mother in a small garden. Another showed him laughing while covered in cake on his 30th birthday. She didn't speak, just watched him. At first, Ravi didn't react, but then something shifted in his eyes. He picked up the birthday photo. "Who is this?" he asked quietly. Anjali's voice trembled. "You. On your birthday. You burned your wrist that day. Look at your hand." He slowly looked at his left wrist. There was a faint burn mark. His eyes widened. "I don't remember this," he said, "but it feels familiar." Anjali took out a small wooden box next. Inside it was an old watch, Raj's favorite watch, the one his grandfather gave him. It was broken, but he wore it every day until the crash. She handed it to him. The moment Ravi touched it, his fingers trembled. A tear escaped his eye. "I know this watch," he whispered. Anjali stepped closer. "Because it's yours." Still, Ravi shook his head. I can't be him. I sell fruit. I don't know how to drive a car. I read slowly. My hands, they feel rough. What kind of rich man lives like this?" Anjali smiled sadly. Maybe one who survived something terrible and forgot himself to survive. She gave him one last thing, a small notebook. It was Raj's journal, the page with the poem. He read it silently. His lips moved with the words, "If I ever forget who I am, I hope someone reminds me." Suddenly, he closed the notebook and held it to his chest. His shoulders shook. Anjali waited. Then, in a broken voice, he said, I don't know who I am anymore, but I feel like I've been waiting for you." Ravi sat on his old wooden bed, holding the journal close to his chest. All night, he couldn't sleep. His mind was a storm. Flashes of strange images, voices he didn't recognize, feelings that didn't belong to his small life. He saw flashes of a grand office, a woman in a red sari, a plane, and a burning explosion. Then darkness. He closed his eyes and tried to breathe. And then he heard a voice. "Raj, wake up. You're late for the board meeting." That voice. It felt so real. Ravi stood up, went to the mirror, and looked deep into his own eyes. His face looked tired. A man used to sun and struggle, but inside something was waking up. He remembered a piano in a golden room, a wedding ceremony by the sea, and a little boy calling out, "Papa, come play." His head hurt. The memories were coming too fast. He stumbled back, breathing hard. Meanwhile, Anjali sat in her mansion, waiting. Every second felt like a century. She hadn't told anyone. Not even Raj's younger brother, Samir, who now handled the family business. Samir had always wanted Raj's position. If he found out that Raj might be alive, things could get dangerous. She couldn't trust anyone. Just then, her phone rang. Unknown number. She picked it up slowly. "Hello," a deep, shaky voice answered. "It's me. I think I remember the boy's name. Arav, right?" Anjali froze. That was the name of their son who died of cancer 2 years before Raj's plane crash. Nobody else knew that. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "Yes," she whispered. "You remember." They met again the next day, this time at Anjali's. private villa, away from the public eye. She cooked his favorite meal, dal chawal with mango pickle, and he smiled the moment he tasted it. "I don't know why this feels like home," Ravi said, looking at her. Anjali slowly took out a video from her phone. It was their last family video, Raj, Anjali, and little Arav playing in the garden. Ravi watched silently. When the video ended, he said nothing. He just held his head and cried like a child. That night, Anjali made a choice. She sent a private message to an old friend, Dr. Kabir, a specialist in trauma and memory loss. He agreed to visit quietly the next day, but someone else was watching. Samir, Raj's brother, had secretly tracked Anjali's movements. He had noticed her going to the suburbs again and again. He hired a private investigator. When the man brought him photos of Ravi, Samir turned pale. "It's not possible," he whispered. "He's dead. I made sure of it." Samir made a call. "Find out who this man really is. If Raj is alive, make sure he doesn't stay that way." The game had just changed, and now Ravi's life was in more danger than ever. Not because he was poor, but because he was remembering who he truly was. Ravi woke up early the next morning, still feeling weak but determined. His memories were growing clearer every day. He knew he had to find out what really happened to him, the truth about the crash and why his life was stolen. Anjali waited nervously at home. She knew it was time to tell Ravi everything she had hidden. When Ravi arrived, Anjali took a deep breath and began. "Raj's plane didn't crash by accident," she said softly. "It was sabotage. Someone wanted him dead." Ravi's eyes widened. "Who would do such a thing?" he asked, his voice shaking. Anjali hesitated, then looked him straight in the eyes. "Samir, Raj's own brother. He wanted the company, the power. He made sure the plane was tampered with." Ravi felt a cold shiver down his spine. "And the, body?" he asked. "They said you never found him." Anjali shook her head. "No body was ever found. Samir covered everything up. That's why I'm scared. If he finds out you're alive, he'll try to finish the job." Ravi clenched his fists. "Then we need proof. We have to expose him." Later that day, Ravi and Anjali met with Dr. Kabir, the trauma specialist. He was kind but serious. "Memory loss after trauma is common," Dr. Kabir explained. "But your memories are coming back because your brain is healing." Ravi nodded, listening closely. "We can help you recover fully," Kabir said. "But you need to be careful. Your mind is fragile." Anjali and Ravi exchanged worried looks. They both knew the danger was real. That evening, Ravi decided to visit the airport, where the crash had happened. He wanted to see the place with his own eyes. The airport was busy and loud, but his heart was heavy. He spoke to old workers and security guards, asking questions carefully. Most avoided him, but one man, a tired mechanic, finally spoke. "I remember that night," the mechanic said. "Something felt wrong. The plane's engine was acting strange." Ravi asked quietly, "Did anyone report it?" The man shook his head. "No, someone told us to stay silent. That night was full of secrets." Ravi's mind raced. "Who told you?" he pressed. The mechanic looked around nervously. "I can't say, but be careful, sir. Some people don't want the truth to come out." On his way back, Ravi's phone buzzed again. It was the unknown number. The message read, "Stop digging, or you will lose everything." Ravi's heart pounded, but he did not reply. He looked at Anjali and said firmly, "They are scared of us. That means we are close." Anjali smiled weakly. "We have to be brave, for Arav, for Raj." At night, Samir sat in his dark office staring at pictures of Ravi and Anjali. He was furious and afraid. "If he wakes up fully, I'm finished." Samir muttered. He picked up his phone. "Make sure he never remembers." But Ravi and Anjali were not alone. A loyal old friend of Raj's, Inspector Khan, had quietly started his own investigation. He met Ravi in secret and promised, "We will find the proof. We will bring Samir down." Ravi felt hope for the first time in months. Ravi's hands trembled as he looked at the two men standing at his door. Their suits were dark and their faces serious, but their eyes held something he could not read. "Please, come in," Ravi said, trying to keep calm. The taller man stepped, sighed first. "Mr. Mehra, we are here to help you," he said quietly. "My name is Officer Ahmed, and this is my partner, Officer Tariq. We work with Inspector Khan." Ravi's heart pounded. Inspector Khan's name gave him hope. "How did you find me?" he asked. Ahmed looked around nervously. "Samir has powerful friends. He's watching you closely. We've been tracking his moves, trying to protect you." Ravi swallowed hard. "I'm ready to fight. I want justice." Tariq nodded. "We believe you, but you have to be careful. Samir will not stop. He wants you gone." Just then, Anjali came into the room, her face pale but determined. "We can't wait any longer," she said. "We need to find the proof and stop him." That night, Ravi and the officers planned their next move. They decided to search Samir's company office for hidden documents, proof of his betrayal. Ravi felt nervous but brave. He knew this was dangerous, but he could not let Samir win. As they arrived at the company building, the rain started pouring again, lightning flashing across the sky. The building was dark and quiet. The three moved silently through the halls. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoed nearby. Ravi's heart jumped. "Someone is coming," he whispered. They quickly hid behind a large pillar. Two men in suits appeared, speaking in low voices. "It's only a matter of time before he's gone," one said. Ravi listened closely. "We need to finish the job before he finds the proof." The officers exchanged worried glances. Samir's men were everywhere. After the men left, Ravi and the officers continued searching. In a locked drawer, they found a small folder with papers inside. Ravi's hands shook as he opened it. Inside were bank statements, emails, and notes, all showing how Samir had planned the sabotage and stolen the company's money. "This is it," Ravi said, his voice strong. Ahmed smiled. "We have enough to arrest Samir." But just as they were about to leave, a loud alarm blared through the building. "Trap!" Tariq shouted. "We must move fast." They ran toward the exit, but the doors locked automatically. Ravi looked around, panic rising. "We're trapped," he said. Suddenly the lights went out and the emergency lights flickered on. Footsteps approached from all sides. Ravi and the officers stood back to back, ready to face whatever came. Outside, Anjali waited anxiously, praying for their safety. Her phone rang. It was Officer Ahmed. "We are trapped inside. Samir's men have set a trap. Please call for backup," he said urgently. Anjali's hands trembled as she called Inspector Khan. "We must hurry," she said. "They are in danger." Back inside, Ravi felt a mix of fear and determination. He looked at the folder in his hands. "This proof will save everything," he thought. The door burst open and masked men rushed in. Ravi raised his voice. "You can try to stop me, but the truth will come out. Samir will pay for what he did." A fierce fight broke out. Ravi struggled but refused to give up. Suddenly, the sound of sirens filled the air. Police officers rushed in, led by Inspector Khan. The masked men froze and dropped their weapons. Ravi sighed in relief. Outside, Anjali hugged Ravi tightly. "You were so brave," she whispered. Ravi smiled tiredly. "For you and for justice." Ravi stared at the threatening message on his phone. His heart beat fast. The danger was still there. But now he was not alone. Inspector Khan stood beside him, calm and ready. "We will protect you," Khan said firmly. "It's time to end this." The next day, Ravi, Anjali, and the police prepared for one last mission. They had the proof to arrest Samir, but they needed to find him first. Samir was powerful, but his time was running out. Ravi felt nervous but strong. He had fought for truth and justice for so long. The police tracked Samir to a remote warehouse outside the city. Ravi, Anjali, and the officers surrounded the building quietly. Khan spoke into his radio. "Move in. No mistakes." Inside the warehouse, Samir paced nervously. He knew the police were coming. He clenched his fists. "They think they can stop me." "Not yet." His phone rang. "Sir, the police are here. We must run. No, Samir said coldly. I will face them. Suddenly, the door burst open. Police officers rushed in. Ravi stepped forward. Samir, it's over, he said calmly. Samir sneered. You have nothing on me. Ravi held up the folder of documents. This is proof. You stole from your own company, tried to ruin me, and betrayed everyone. Samir's face twisted with anger. You think you're better than me? You're just a pawn. Ravi took a deep breath. I was poor once. I worked hard. But I will never let someone like you destroy lives for money. Police officers handcuffed Samir and led him away. Anjali looked at Ravi with tears in her eyes. You saved me and the company. You are a true hero. Ravi smiled, feeling tired but happy. Later, Ravi stood with Anjali on the company's balcony. The sun was rising. This is a new beginning, Ravi said. Anjali nodded. We will rebuild together. Suddenly, Ravi's phone buzzed again. He hoped it was a new message, but this time it was a photo. A photo of a man watching them from a distance. The man's face was unknown, but the feeling of danger returned. Ravi looked at Anjali. Looks like our story is not finished yet. They both smiled, ready for whatever came next.